Good morning, Mr. Ron Lauder, Mr. Eli Azur, Jerusalem Post owner, Mr. Jacob Katz, distinguished guests. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing me to be here with all of you and to speak with you today. First, I would like to share with you a personal story. It was a cold night at the end of April 1980, exactly 38 years ago. I was on one of my first missions as a team leader in the Israeli Navy SEALs Hashayetet. The IDF received intelligence that a group of terrorists from the organization of Ahmed Jibril was preparing to carry out a massive terror attack via sea, similar to the one that carried out 2 years before when 35 Israelis civilians were brutally murdered in the 1978 Beach Road bus attack. Therefore, Shayetet 13 embarked on a preemptive strike on a terrorist base in Lebanon, south of Sidon. I began this mission as a young, inexperienced commander, and I finished it as an experienced commanding officer. In this operation, I spearheaded the invading force, fighting the terrorists from a short distance and placing explosive charges to destroy the enemy headquarters. During the operation, my direct commander, Captain Doron, was wounded, and the commander of the operation at the time, Ami Ayalon, instructed me to take command and rescue Doron. Though the battle was tactical, I gained insights that stayed with me throughout my entire service and formed my military understanding. Mainly, for every operational situation, there must always be a plan. The leader's ultimate responsibility is to assure that the planning is comprehensive and that the forces are ready for the challenges. And still, one must know that there will always be surprises. The battlefield is the kingdom of the unknown. Every operational requires fighting ability and courage from the soldiers. In addition, the commanders are required to show clear assessment of the situation, courageous decision-making, and high performance. These basic qualities related to tactical abilities are not surprisingly also true to the highest level of strategic leadership. Therefore, I believe we need to take this insight into current reality. Moving to present time, looking at the strategic level, our situation is good, and in some ways, it is better than it's ever been. Nevertheless, our situation is very sensitive and very delicate. Security is the most important issue. And by that, I mean both internal and external security. The current period, although not perfect, is among the quietest we have seen in our country's borders in the last 40 years. The terrorists do not rest. All over Israel, in cities and villages, there are attempts to perform terror attacks. But in general, despite tragic events, this is a quiet period. The Lebanese border has been quiet since 2006 as a result of the deterrent that was achieved. In the border with Jordan and Egypt, the very important lasting peace, together with the performance of the IDF, brings stability and quiet to the eastern south and southern borders. In Judah and Samaria, since the success of the IDF during the last 15 years, the Palestinian terrorism is not able to achieve its objectives. In Gaza, for almost a decade now, since Operation Cast Lead, under my command as the commander of Southern Front, there has been quiet, aside from one major interruption in 2014. Hamas, left with no real operational solutions, is cynically using Palestinian civilians to create provocations to attract international attention. Hamas is aggressive but a weak enemy. Let me say this loud and clear. In any confrontation against Hamas in the Gaza Strip or elsewhere, Israel will prevail. Israel will prevail. Actually, the challenge in Gaza is different. To enable better lives to the Palestinian population that has been taken hostage by a terrorist organization without creating damage to Israel's security. However, the situation before us is different from what we have known in the past. The Iranians are sweeping the Middle East in a she storm. They already control territories from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean. They have occupied major parts of Iraq, Lebanon, and now, under Russian wings, Syria. Their infiltration into the Syrian Golan Heights is especially alarming for us. The process is organized and aimed at creating a deeper front on the entire northern border of Israel, from the Mediterranean Sea to the Jordanian border. This is being implemented by Hezbollah in Lebanon and Shia militia on the Golan Heights. It includes a headquarters in Damascus, intelligence and communication infrastructure, and a plan for sea and airports in the area. The terror effort in the northern border, while dangerous in itself, is only secondary to the Iranian major effort, creating nuclear capabilities. I will say it again, as it is essential to our national security situation. The war of attrition against Israel is only secondary to the major effort of Iran to possess military nuclear power that will endanger the world in general and Israel specifically. A dangerous asymmetric situation is emerging in which the Israeli home front is exposed to Iranian Shia enemy, while Iran is 1,000 miles away and is developing weapons of mass destruction without interruption. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest appreciations to our closest ally, the United States of America, led by President Donald Trump. For adopting a different approach on the very bad deal that is the nuclear agreement. I am convinced that American determination will bring Iran to recalculate its route. The Iranian issue is the main security challenge that we will face in the coming years. We must cope with it on the diplomatic as well as the security military levels and build our overall capabilities to make sure that Iran's objectives are not achieved. I know firsthand our capabilities. I trust the IDF and the Israeli government. I am certain that we will overcome any obstacle. We will prevail. We will prevail. The most powerful component of the State of Israel are its people and its values. However, we are losing national strength as a result of a growing division in the Israeli society between right and left, secular and ultra-Orthodox, poor and rich. From my experience over the years, when you lead troops through sea or land, you must remember that the leader at the head of the camp controls the direction, but the pace is dictated by the last man in line. Creating a hatred by political elements for short-term profits is irresponsible and also, to some degree, dangerous. We all remember, especially here, that the Second Temple was destroyed because of baseless hatred. The future challenges make the unification in Israel's society more critical than ever. To conclude, I would like to say that I am very optimistic regarding the future of Israel, but yes, I'm very optimistic regarding the future of Israel. But even the greatest national phenomena of the last century, the creation of the State of Israel, needs to be maintained. We must work very hard together to preserve the miracle we inherited from our forefathers, the revival of the Jewish state and the Jewish people in its homeland. Thank you all very much. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. God bless Israel. Thank you.